Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Today's video is Ten Hag's dream January window. With the money in January, how much money will he get? What does Ten Hag want to spend it on? What are the necessary positions that we need to prioritise? And to break it all down, we have Charlie and Adam with us. Adam, Charlie, January, we need to sign some players. We've heard that the club's recently going to be put up for sale. Does that stunt us from signing players? And with positions, what would your priorities be?
I mean, if, like being told, we could possibly have a new owner in before Christmas, that changes the January transfer window up completely. If we have Apple come in, then we go and get whoever we want. It's as simple as that. But
the rumours are, though, it is summer that the sale might happen.
Yeah, I'd expect that. And January is going to be very difficult now because on a wind down, with any business, the expenditure goes down. It naturally happens. Maybe this completely takes out the January transfer window. But if you ask every single Manchester United fan, what would you take? No money spent in January and the Glazers gone in the summer, or keep the Glazers and spend some money in January. I know exactly where every single one of them would go.
I'd have no signings for a year if it took
You'd
to get
take
them
anything just to get rid of them. I mean, I'd finish outside of Europe if it meant the Glazers going. If you promised me that, 100%. I would. So you're bringing in the January transfer window, it's going to be tough. We may get something, a surprise package out of this World Cup, but funds are going to be very limited, and I think this hampers the whole thing right now. We need a right back and a striker in January, I think.
Charlie, what positions do you think we need to improve? Obviously, there's an argument that we need cover all over the pitch in certain positions. There's only certain positions like left back you would say that we completely covered on. But what would you prioritise for January, looking at the market and thinking about what realistically we can go and get?
A forward player, striker, definitely. I mean, there was arguments that we needed two strikers, even when we had Ronaldo and Martial, both of them. And now Ronaldo's gone. We should be really needing two, but minimum one, and a right back as well. We can't be expecting Dalot to kind of put in the performances week in, week out and keep the fitness levels that, he has shown, especially after the World Cup period as well. So definitely striker and right back for me.
And if you had to pick, because I generally think we'll only sign one player, if that. If you had to pick between a striker and a right back right now, what would you be going for?
Striker for me, yeah.
Yeah, Adam, would you be on the same wavelength with that?
100% striker. We need that now. That's the shortest position in our team.
And it's a big problem that is the shortest position we have in our team, and it's one of the most important positions on the pitch. You have to be able to score goals, and that's what we struggle to do. We definitely need a striker, and I can 100% agree with you both on that. But looking at the options for that, we've seen Cody Gakpo score that header for Netherlands so far in the World Cup. Hopefully more goals to come from him. Do you think that is the most likely option because of the ease of being able to sign him in January?
Yeah, United love an easy deal. Like, put on a plate for him, red carpet rolled out, taxis booked, take you here, there, everything done. They don't like to do too much work, it would seem, when it comes to it. I'll go and fight another club for a player that's in demand. We don't seem to do that anymore. We seem to make sure that the deal is easy enough for us to complete at our own pace. But it comes down to it again, Beth. The if, buts and maybes now turn into big ifs because the January transfer market now has changed since we've got the bombshell news about the Glazers. Gakpo was pretty much a done deal, and we're hearing lots of journalists say that. That's the easiest one to get. There's a buyout clause. We know how much it is. We know the player would want to come to Manchester United. We know he can fit two positions in our forward line that we can utilise fully. And it all comes down to now who is in charge of the finances until the end of the season when the club gets sold. And are they willing to spend X amount of money rather than save it? The ultimate is the Glazers, it's their money. And if they are selling, are they even going to release 40, 50 million for Gakpo?
I don't feel like Gakpo will be
it's not going to be a lot.
But the World Cup might definitely boost his price. But honestly, I think there is a myth about Gakpo that he is like a converted left winger, or he's just a left winger, or he's the same type of player as Marcus Rashford. They are different players. Obviously, he can play on the wing, and he's not an out-and-out number 9 yet. But he definitely, I think, personally, can be moulded into that number 9 under the correct coaching. Charlie, do you think he's a good enough signing to come in January? He's sort of maybe someone that Ten Hag can develop, but also maybe looking to get another striker in summer as well.
I think, look, Ten Hag has proven with the signings that he's made that he trusts in them and they trust in him, and they've all done very well so far.
Yeah, it's been the most successful transfer window so far that we've had in years, hasn't it?
You've got to
decades.
Yeah, you've got to take the positives out of it. And look, he wanted to go and get him in the summer. I don't think it was a factor of Gakpo or Anthony. It was both.
I think he saw them as different players.
It was just the fact that we spent so much money on Anthony that we probably didn't go out there and get Gakpo as well. So yeah, I wouldn't see him as. I mean, yes, look, we want to go and get him in January because I feel like, especially if he goes and has a really good World Cup, there's going to be a lot more teams after him. Obviously, was it Leeds and Southampton that actually put bids in for him after the interest from us?
I think there was something behind that, and he didn't want to go that low.
Yeah,
I think he was waiting out for a bigger club to come.
Yeah,
through,
which is fair enough. I mean, after interest from Manchester United, you wouldn't really want to
There'd definitely be conversations behind the scenes that we don't know about as well, between the player and maybe agents and even Ten Hag himself.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got the right to, and look, I don't know whether it will be January, but I do think whether it's January or summer that he will be a Manchester United player.
Yeah, I do think he's the most likely option. I think Ten Hag prioritised Anthony in the summer because he knew the money was going to be spent there. If he waited on Anthony, maybe he wouldn't have ended up getting that player. Gakpo is definitely the easier to do in January. So if we do end up getting him, I think it was the right decision to make, and hopefully we'll have them both there at Manchester United. But we've just seen Bruno Fernandes, little through ball through to Joao Felix. Joao Felix isn't having the best time at Atletico Madrid at the moment. Simeone doesn't seem to be fancying him, and apparently he is looking for a move. Ten Hag was interested in the summer. Could that be a little loan deal that we could put in for the summer? Would you guys be interested in that?
I mean, you cannot turn Joao Felix down. Joao Felix is a ridiculously good player. He was worth every single penny. I mean, we've seen this guy start as a fullback, winger, striker. He is insanely versatile, but he has earned his corn playing in that forward line now. We've just seen him score a quality goal. Every time he gets a chance, he's that player that you go through on goal and you're like, it's in. He's got that vibe, he's got that feeling. He loves playing against Manchester United. Every time I've seen him play against Manchester United, he's performed and been standout, different class. He is of the world-class variety, I think, Joao Felix. If there is a deal that can be done, whereas it's not really going to affect the Glazers' pocket here and now, maybe we're looking at frees and loans possibly to see us in to the summer, and then we nail down and finalise a deal. That may work for Joao Felix.
I do think it'd be a brilliant loan. I think Joao Felix is one of them players that I think people have different opinions on him. I've heard a lot of people saying if he came to the Premier League he would flop. I definitely don't think
he's got the capability of winning United the Europa League.
Yeah,
or a trophy this 100%. Season. That's the type of player.
Ten Hag seems to like the versatile type players. I mean, we've seen Rashford even playing a number 10 role.
And he works like a trooper.
Yeah, he does.
That's a different.
And the way he worked for Atletico, considering he got minimal chances up front, he was on. You talk about United being a graveyard shift. He was on the graveyard shift.
To get in Simeone's team, you have to work like an absolute lunatic. And I think he's just got fed up. He's got nothing's been invested in, and he's not getting the same service. He was brought as a big time player. He's done his yards. He's done his time under Simeone, and I think that's probably where he's got a bit fed up.
The only thing with me that is not a worry on Joao Felix's end, but how much is it that Atletico bought him for? It was over 100 million, wasn't it? So that's regardless, even if it is a loan, it's going to be an expensive loan, right? That you're looking at, expensive loans. Igalo was even an expensive loan, and the comparisons with him and Joao Felix are night and day. It's not even a conversation. So you're looking at a transfer fee type loan, basically, that we'd only get him for, whether it's half a season, however long, with then, I'm guessing, the option of the buying him when the season does finish. But that will be a staggering amount as well, because they're going to want the return, aren't they, on the investment? Yeah,
100%. I definitely don't think anything's nailed on yet. Obviously, we've just heard the news Ronaldo is no longer a player. We heard that a couple of days ago. So we need a striker. We have heard off Romano that a striker will be brought in if Ronaldo leaves. So we are going to get a striker, I do believe, whether the Glazers go or not.
Did Romano know that the Glazers were going?
No, but I do think we will get one. I think we have to.
Who is buying him?
Who?
No owner who's leaving a football club is going to spend any money.
I don't think it'll be anything special, that's what I'm saying, but I do think we'll get a stopgap in. But we'll have to wait and see. If you were getting a right back, which I don't think we'll get in January, if I'm being honest, I don't think we will. I think he'll keep making do with Malacia. Who would you be looking at? Charlie, we'll go to you first.
I mean, there's names been thrown out of Max Aarons, Frimpong as well. Other than that, it's hard. There was a few right-backs we were linked to towards, I think it was deadline day, wasn't there? There was like Mounier and some other players. But for me,
no one actually like completely jumps out.
no, but then again, you look at the performances that Dallow's been putting in recently. You don't want someone that's going to come in and overshadow that. You do want someone that's, and it's hard to get a younger right back than Dallow that's going to be good, isn't it? Because Dallow's what, 23?
Yeah.
But you do kind of want someone, I guess, of the Max Aarons Frimpong type that doesn't want to necessarily come in and start straight away. You do want someone that's going to be that understudy and is, I guess, happy fighting for that kind of first team action, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Adam, this is one that I thought about, and it's completely like I don't think it'd happen in a month of Sundays. I'm not going to lie, but you look at Jed Spencer at Tottenham. He's not getting anything under Conte. Mm-hmm. I genuinely think, obviously, the guy wants game time. 100%, he'll be looking for a loan or a move, but if you brought him in, he wouldn't be starting over Dallow, but I definitely think he'd get game time under Ten Hag.
He'd got a better chance of getting game time under Ten Hag, but it's going to probably go. You say, what's Ten Hag's dream January transfer window? It probably would be less hassle. That's what I would say. And I think, like you said, he's just going to stick with what he's got. I really do. I know he needs a right back, but Ten Hag to me comes across as a man that just won't accept willy-nilly. He won't accept stop-gaps.
No,
he's not going to plug any holes.
He'd rather have nothing. He'd rather have nothing than have just like a filler player.
Yeah, he would. That's why he mentioned Lindelof and Malacia. He knows he's got covering them two, and he'd be more happy with them because he's already got into their psyche and how he wants them to work than bringing someone new in that he's not going to have time to work with.
That's the thing. I feel like the likes of Gakpo and Felix, even though people would say they are stopgaps till summer, I think Ten Hag does clearly both really like them players and see a future with them because of the versatility. But with the right back coming in, it'd be someone like a Malacia that you can generally see a future for. But Malacia came out of nowhere until Erik Ten Hag came in, so we'll have to wait and see on that one.
It may be someone we just don't know about.
Do you think there's any other areas on the pitch that you would be looking to improve in January? A position that might come out of nowhere?
Well, there's no positions that are coming out of anywhere. We need a centre-back, a centre-mid, a right-back and a centre-forward, and we're challenging. It's as simple as that. But all four of them have to be best in class and go right into the first team. That type of signing. No squad players. We've got plenty of squad players. We need out-and-out 4 more to complete this jigsaw puzzle, Manchester United. You can see it on the pitch. We are nearly there. We're nearlies at the moment. They have to have the right mentality. They have to have the right experience, enough time on their hand to improve, and willing to work to Ten Hag's system. That doesn't come in January. It never has done. It will be possibly, we might not get all of them in one window again. It may be another summer window past it. Could be another 2 years till we've got that 4. That's the problem we've got.
I mean, you've watched the youth team a lot this year. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any player that can come out of there that can help the squad out?
In terms of helping the squad in positions that we need, not really. I would say centre midfield, we've got a number and a player there in Kobe Mainu who definitely has got a future. It's just the physicality side of things. They're not physically developed enough. There's a lot of 18-year-olds in our under-21s. So we're not looking at 21-year-olds ready. We are a very, very young youth team. A lot of 18-year-olds. You very rarely see players like Garnacho coming through. They're that rare breed. Yeah. There are some good players. Centre-back, Reece Bennett has been playing excellent all season. Mengi's come back from his loan and now captaining the youth team. We have got good players. But they're just not quite there. They're not ready, and I think it would hamper them if we tried to fast-track them right now more than them actually progressing from it. Like I said, Garnacho is just done. We're lucky. We've got that gem.
There's one thing with a lot of people actually suggesting Ethan Laird coming back from his loan spell. Is that something that you guys would be interested in bringing him back, knowing that he is going to get game time, but it very much is just going to be that understudy to Dallow?
I understand that, but I would leave him out for his own development.
Yeah. I agree.
And because I wouldn't see him getting ahead of Malacia still. If Dallow wasn't available, I think Malacia would come straight in. So I think another season for Laird. I think Ten Hag hasn't had the time. I think he's sent the people on loan he wants and thinks he's something in to then see next season. I do believe in the summer that we will see a lot of these loan players actually completely outed.
Yeah, I agree.
If they are not good enough, I think Ten Hag will wield the axe.
Well, you said it best with Donny van de Beek. He said there's not going to be a loan. He either proves himself or he's gone. And that's going to go for a lot of players. If you're not good enough, you might as well not waste our time, really. If the players are developing on loan, 100%, but if they're not, if Erik ten Hag can already see they're not going to make it, I think it's best to just cut ties. But it'll be interesting to see. On Ethan Laird, defensively, I just won't be comfortable with him coming in. I think he's good coming forward, but defensively, I just don't think he's quite there yet.
You think about it, look at the players that are on loan. You've got Fernandes, the player of the year last season.
I definitely think there's a player there.
Yeah.
So Preston, isn't he?
Yeah, Preston. Yeah. So he was under 23 player of the year last year. He went straight out on loan. There's a reason why he went straight out on loan, because there's a player in that and they want to see him develop. Yeah. And you've obviously got, like we said, Ethan Laird. So there's both full-back positions. This is why Ten Hag, I don't think will rush in January, because there is players there. Can he get into their psyche? Can he get into their mentality and turn them players into options for the first team?
That's when pre-season comes, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's when the
and
decisions are
obviously
made.
your big one is in the another attacking third in Hannibal. So players there of interest, definitely, because I seen on the tour he was spending a lot of time talking to Hannibal, like alone time on training grounds. He was giving him a lot of information, and I do feel like he wants to look at these players in particular in the summer. I think it will be interesting, Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal as well, and where they go, because they haven't quite done it. And being integrated into the first team and not playing in the under-21s because of it, it can set you back. And this is why I think the loan system is important. And I think the best ones, the ones he really wants, have gone out on loan, because you cannot play in the under-21s on a Friday if you're in the matchday squad.
Yeah.
And there's players in this team that haven't played hardly any part this season because of that.
To be honest with you, I think the only people that shouldn't be going out on loan at this point are players that you know are absolute stars like Garnacho. But it'll be interesting to see who we get in January, if we get anybody. How many signings are we predicting quickly?
January, none.
Yeah, none.
I'm going to go with one. I think we have to get a striker. But get in the comments down below how many signings you think we will get, how many signings you think Erik ten Hag will get, and who you would go for as a striker and as a right back, and is there any other priority positions you'd put above them. But thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.